So let's we start. And today's topic is the post-harvest horticulture operations technologies and overview and best practices. So let's we start. First of all, post-harvest horticulture operations. It doesn't start from there only. It has to be some background. It has to be some rational. It starts from the date of sowing, planting, and when we go into the field. So when we go into the field, crops are harvested, crops are sown. It definitely very good package practices has to be followed. Then only the yield will be high and we will achieve good yield. When we achieve good yield, then only we will be able to shift our produce to processing sector or processing. But in that, we have to also see that there must be least losses. But in our country, in our subcontinent region, we have very high ratio of post-harvest losses. To keep it in mind, to reduce that, there has to be some main force, some policy to take it over and reduce it in a very good manner. So the background is that the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, they launched the central sector scheme for 10,000 farmer producer organizations. Means they launched the central sector scheme to create farmer producer organizations in a number of 10,000. This was their target. And to create this farmer producer organization was to enhance productivity, improve market linkage, provide support, and build capacity. But what is farmer producer organization? Farmer producer organization is a kind of organization where farmers are their members. It may be agriculture, it may be non-agriculture. Agriculture means if you go Maharashtra, Nasik area, onion and garlic production is very high. It is one of the largest producer of onion and garlic. So their farmers they produce very large quantity. So they can form a cooperative like team member and they come cohesively and make a group of more farmer which will sell onions, and this FPO can export onion outside, can also sell their onion in different states, in North Bihar, in Chandigarh, in Delhi, or they may go to Northeast also. This is the thing. And it is registered under Companies Act or Cooperative Societies Act. Yes, you got this point. Cooperative Societies Act. Actually, the FPO is like cooperating to come together and work together and have a very good team member like thing. And the purpose for this creation was leverage collective economics in production and marketing. If farmer individually takes roles of production, marketing, and the packaging also, it is very difficult because in field he is so much induced that after harvest he has to look for the another person who will take produce to the market, also very good market, that market which fetches good price to that particular farmer. So it is a very cumbersome process and it is very confusing also. To minimize this, to chalk out this organization was created so that if farmers will come together and form a team, some group of farmers may look into the farming situation, good practices of cultivation, and which will enhance their production. And other group of farmers will see the market linkages, how the produce can be transported to the good market area. If the production is high, there is a glut in the market. That means if production is high, supply is low, then the market price goes down. In that case, farmer suffers less return, which in turn gives low returns, and this does not uplift their standard of living. So to address this problem, there is a sector processing. If in a large quantity of production has been produced, they can be shifted into processed products like mango pulp, lychee squash, lychee juice, guava juice, pickles. These are the processed products because the quantity is so much in high and large, so that it can be processed, and the processed product price fetches good price to the farmers and improve their standard of living. But to check this, to standardize this, it has to be done under some organization. The farmers will be doing something together, and they have to be given training, and they are trained. And there are certain NGOs and government agencies, those who are giving and imparting, and central institutions, that are imparting training and train those organizations, so that they can fetch good price, and they have a very good outreach of market, and which give them good returns. So, but the services and activities by FPOs, they have to supply quality inputs and lower rates, provide production and post-production machinery on a custom hiring basis, offer value addition services, cleaning, grading, packing, and storage. We all know the produce, it has to be very good quality, appearance wise, hygienic wise, disease free. Then only by looking at the produce, only the consumer or the customer have a buy that product, and farmers can give premium price, uh, so that they can fetch that price. But if the produce little bit in good low in quality, they will not get that price. There will be some negotiations, they will not getting that actual price, which will in turn give the result of low return in comparison to high input cost, or you may say that cost of cultivation must be higher in comparison to getting returns in low. So the services and activities done by FPOs is that to provide post-production machinery which will reduce the post-harvest losses. And there are different FPOs that you can see here on custom hiring basis. Now, a custom hiring center in our KVK and most of the KVKs has been in functional, in that we give machineries like happy seeder, zero tillage machine in different seasons to particular FPO group or farmers on rental basis, so that they can use, and after use they can return to the KVK or respective KVK. In this facility, they are able to conserve time. Now labor scarcity is there, so this mitigates that problem. At the same time, the coverage area is very high and in less time, so that they are able to sow or plant their planting material seed in a right time, right place, so that they can able to get harvested product, harvested produce at right time, right place, and get ready for the next season. If the labor scarcity is there, they are not using machinery, mechanization in their agriculture operations, there is delay in their process and operations, which delays their production and yield. And at the end of the day, they are not getting that desirable yield and desirable quality, which will fetches them good price. So the last 2-3 points I was discussing, it was the background for the post harvest, because when we sow or plant the planting material seed and in the agriculture, the post harvest starts from there. Because if the harvested produce is of not good quality, how we will able to minimize post harvest losses? Because if our production produce is in large quantity with good quality, then only we have to look upon that, we have to reduce the losses. We are already in the losses, then how we will see this particular section, that post harvest. So we have to maintain that particular quality of that produce. And there are general principles of post harvest management. That is, we should not forget that the fruits and vegetables are living entities. They still breathe, they still respire. You may heard that climatic and non-climatic fruits that produce. In climatic, they are mango, banana. These are the climatic. And non-climatic is lychee, citrus. So after harvesting of mango also, they still continue the ripening process. Their respiration goes on. That's why they are living entities. In the same case in the vegetables also. But vegetables, we don't look harvest, we don't look for the stage of ripening. We see the stage of tender stage. Because if we left on the field that it will mature and mature, then it will become fibrous. So vegetable and fruits are harvested at different stage, but their maturity demands according to the consumer preference. And the respiration and metabolism causes deterioration over time. Because if they respire, the sugar content increases, and sugar content increases, then it becomes too much soft and the fluffy, that the peel of the fruit ruptures, and ruptures, then the fluid come out, and it is a very good center for microbes development and the pest infection different. And this reduces the appearance of the fruit, which again deteriorates the quality and the prices. No one goes to buy that kind of fruit or produce from the market. All want to see that the fruit should be shiny, clean, good in appearance. Then only will give good price. And the most important is the handling importance. How we can say that when it is harvested, how it is handled, how it is pluck it from the plant, taken in the storage container, and how it is transported to the market or some other distant place. It all requires diligence, good standard, good understanding of fruit respiration, fruit physiological process, which will prevent, if the person knows the how to carry the fruit to the market which is distant, and how to store in better way to prevent spoilage. And if the shelf life is extended, then only it will remain in the market, because in one day it cannot be sold, whole quantity cannot be sold. But in lychee, you all know, lychee when it's harvested, it is sold in one day, because the farmers or the producers leave it to them. Even we consumers, we know that it is a non-climatic fruit. If we will not take it today, definitely it will be spoiled. It has to be taken. That's why when lychee is out in the market, very much rush is there, because it is also in very not so very large quantity. Some of the last 2 years you have seen that it has been exported and the price has gone very much higher. But the rush is there. People want to buy as soon as possible whenever they see, because if rush is there, the good quality will be gone earlier, and later part you will not get such high quality. And on the other hand, it is a non-climatic fruit. It will remain only 12 to 24 hours when it is harvested, because after on the next day its taste and also its quality deteriorates. It couldn't taste either good. Now we come to this slide, and now we come to the causes of post-harvest losses. The causes of post-harvest losses are metabolic, mechanical, developmental, parasitic disease, physiological deterioration, lack of market demand, consumption-related losses. Metabolic is like that if these are things are not under control. Sudden rise of temperature, sudden low in the relative humidity, which develops different tastes in the fruits. And this year the high temperature was there in the at the time of flowering of lychee. Due to high temperature, the blossoms of lychee flowers doesn't appear, doesn't go, development was not good. So the yield of lychee this year was not so good at in comparison to last year. Mechanical, it is the mechanical reasons, like if we are carrying the produce and through machine and there must by injury with rope or with stick, or we are carrying some containers and picking and keeping in there in a hurry, by picking and touching of the some container, injury is there. This is the mechanical one, through which if injury is there, then the loss of respiration will be higher, which will spoil the produce, particular produce, in much higher rate. And after that, it will quality will be reduced. And developmental is it will process, it will develop in a mere time interval, because if you are not taking precautions to retard the respiration process, then it will later on, if you are not taking any precaution, then a little bit development of uh, fruit respiration will be higher, and developmental of post harvest losses will be, it is a continuous process. Parasitic disease, sometimes we harvest the fruit, some fruits have little bit infection on that, but we don't see that because lots of fruits are there, lots of vegetables are there. We have to distend or rogue out the disease or infected produce. If that produce comes in the good quality one, then it becomes the parasitic to that produce, and it enhances the disease development, the rot smell, which entire lot that produce quality will be deteriorated. And the physiological deterioration is like that, the fruit physiology, that the TSS of the fruit deteriorates, and the lack of market demand. Market demand is like that, this is the time of mango, Malda, or you can say that Malika variety and Amrpali variety. But your orchard is not in position to, you are having Amrpali and Malika, but due to some not so good operations, you are not getting the yield. It if the lack of market demand is that you are producing Amrpali and Malika, but in your area market demand is not of Amrpali and Malika, it is of Daseri and Malda, then it's a loss. Because it is a, if you have very large quantity of that particular variety, but that particular variety has no market, then how will you able to sold those things? And if they are not able to sold it, then definitely there will be a losses. And consumption related losses is that it is miscellaneous thing, we proper handling, how to consume and how it is transported and how it is distributed in the market, that losses are incurred and it is not under control, but it has to be controlled. Let's see. Now we have discussed the causes of post harvest losses. These were the reasons, these were the types, that mechanical, metabolic. Now we can see that there are a group of vegetables, flowers, and their principal causes of post harvest losses, which are very principal one. Like we can see in root vegetables, carrots, their post harvest losses are most because of mechanical injuries, beets for improper curing, onions for sprouting and rooting, garlic for water loss they shrivel, and potato they decay if their storage is not done properly. Sweet potato is chilling injury whenever there is a subtropical and tropical conditions are there. Leafy vegetables, there is water loss. These are the major problems which have to be taken care of. If we take care of these reasons, then the post harvest losses in these particular produces will be reduced, which will increase their market prices. Like we can see that flower vegetables like artichoke and broccoli and cauliflower, they are mainly of abscission of florets and mechanical injuries. Means they are after the harvest, the carrying of that particular produce to the market is not so good. It has to be taken under consideration, that it has to be taken carefully. And immature fruits, that the way that I have said, that it has harvest, it's some vegetables are harvested at tender stage, like cucumbers, squash, eggplant, okra. So peppers are black, peppers are capsicum, paprika, they have chilling injury. It has to be stored at a very good temperature, not so very low temperature, because in tropical vegetables they may cause chilling injury. Tomato melons, tomato is very soft and very juicy vegetable. So breezing, if they tightly packed, packing is not so proper, the breezing injuries will be there. In melons, over ripeness has to be taken under consideration, that over ripeness should not be there, and excessive softening at the harvest. It has to be harvested at a very half slip stage, not so full slipset. And bananas and mangoes, in bananas peeling injury is very much common, because the bananas are stored at very not so very low temperature. It has to be stored at 11 to 12 degrees Celsius, but other produce can be stored around below 6 degrees Celsius, 4 degrees Celsius. But bananas condition is very much different from the other storage conditions to extend your shelf life. On when it is the produce, horticulture produce, it is stored when it is production is large quantity, it has to be stored in very much better way to click their market price. When it is in very much large quantity, there is glut in the market, they are not getting, the farmers are not getting their price. When there is scarcity, then only they will get the good price. And for that period, they have to be stored, it has to be stored in very good conditions. So it has to be, and then that particular portion I have discussed and I have mentioned in later slides, we will look into that. These were the producers which may follow poor quality and post-harvest losses under different conditions of different crops. Now, their category of causes of post-harvest losses, those are physical causes, physiological causes, mechanical causes, and hygiene-related causes. And physical causes, we can see that a cooling, freezing, heating of roots. Physiological causes, the ethylene production, transpiration, senescence, sprouting and rooting. Mechanical causes, their damages due to cuts and bruises, scraping, shrinkage. And hygiene related causes are the dampness due during storage, microbial action and pest infestation. Rodent action also take place, like mouse, mice. If we store the fruit or vegetable under different storage criteria, still there are losses. And we can see if tomato is stored in zero energy cool chamber, still 14 to 25% loss is there. In cool storage, apple also suffers from 10% loss. Underground peat, this is a indigenous method of storage. There are 15 to 30% loss. Zero energy chamber in carrot also suffer losses, 6 to 14%. Orange cellar storage, it is a kind of storage. It is a kind of chamber underground with only window and very much clean basement area beneath the building. It also suffer loss. And we can see that impact of post-harvest losses. Post-harvest losses on impact is like nutrition point of view also, and in economic point of view also. Nutrition, loss of essential vitamins and minerals. Overall, all discussions we are looking on agriculture produce, horticulture produce, but they are the main source of vitamins and minerals to us. Even though vegetables are considered as protective foods, because they are very much rich in vitamins, minerals, and essential amino acids. If there is deficiency, or if any of those not taken, there is a deficiency, and that deficiency leads to diseases like vitamin D deficiency causes rickets, vitamin A deficiency causes night blindness, vitamin B, under vitamin B, different complexes are there. And if there is something deficient in the human body, the particular disease has to be occurred and symptoms of that disease can be seen. So this that so the produce quality is of so important that we, if it is not maintained, the loss of essential vitamins and minerals is there. So we are not getting that kind of desirable vitamins, essential amino acids, which is also creates deficiency in our body. And on the other side, we can also see that if the quality produce is not so of good quality, post harvest losses are more, then the reduced market price will not be getting, trade cannot be continued in international market. And definitely, if these all things are coming together, then the economic losses will be there. So to maintain, to synergize the whole post-harvest losses problem, there are some steps for fruits and vegetables which has to be followed to reduce post-harvest losses. In fruits, obviously, when fruits are ripened or when they attain the maturity stage, they have to be harvested, and from harvesting, they has to go pre-cooling chamber or pre-cooling. After that, they have to go for sorting, washing, waxing, pricing, packaging, storage, transportation, transportation to the particular area where the bulk has to be collected, and from there it has to be sold to the wholesaler, and from wholesaler again resorting, resizing and repackaging is done, and from there transported to retailer, and then from the retailer the consumer is getting that particular quality produce. Little bit different from fruit is the vegetable, because vegetables are harvested, most vegetables are harvested at tender stage. They all go in the same process, like harvesting. Then after harvesting, they have to be go recooling, cleaning, trimming. Trimming is done because along with some vegetable produce, the leaves are there, twigs are there. We have to trim that, and after that, grading is done, because the you can see in okra, tomato, the sizes are very much different, round size, oval shape, and in okra, length of the okra also differed. So of uniform length, uniform round size, the grading is there, sorting is there. And in fruits it is not required, but in vegetables curing is required. Curing is the term which is mainly followed in potato, onion and garlic. It is done to remove field heat, because they are in the field conditions. Mostly vegetables are grown in field conditions and they remain in the field whenever harvesting is to be taken place, and they have to it has to be removed field heat from their produce. So it has to be removed because the it if it is not done, the respiration process in that particular produce is of high rate, and in the day or two it becomes fibrous. To if curing is done, then it can be stored for longer period. And after curing, sizing is done, waxing is done, packaging is done, then transported to wholesaler and again transported to consumer. This is the flow chart for post harvest handling of fruits and vegetables. We have to be more cautious about harvesting methods also if we have to address the post harvest losses. There are two methods: hand harvesting, mechanical harvesting. Hand harvesting methods are the accurate selection is there, less damage is there, cost effective. But disadvantage is that time consuming, labor dependent. If labor is not there, you can't do. You alone farmer cannot do such a large quantity of produce harvesting. But in mechanical harvesting, benefits is that it reduces cost because the labor is not involved, and at the same time speed of harvesting increases, so that the harvested produce harvested is in large quantity and it can be reached to the market in very less time. But disadvantage is the risk of damage, because when we use machines, the mechanical injury can be done by machines, and it is done for only those crops those are harvested on a single day, like potato, onion, sugarcane. It cannot be feasible in tomato because they are daily pickings. Brinjal is also daily picking. Okra is also daily picking. It has to be done. It increases the cost of cultivation. It incurred the cost of cultivation higher, because if we do through mechanical harvesting, the daily basis we have to use that machine. But uh, that particular crop which can be harvested on a single day, in that case mechanical harvesting is very beneficial, time conserve time reducing, and the produce can be distributed to the marketplace in a very quick time. The post harvest handling techniques are pre-cooling methods. Under pre-cooling methods, room cooling, forced air cooling, hydro cooling, ice cooling, vacuum cooling, cryogenic cooling, and evaporative cooling. After that, washing, cleaning, and trimming, sorting, grading, and sizing, curing, waxing, packaging, and storage. Pre-cooling methods. Here are some descriptions about the pre-cooling methods and which fruit or vegetable is suitable for that particular method. In room cooling, it is a cold room where cold air passes through a fan which serves as a unit of refrigeration. Under this condition, cabbage, tomato, pumpkin, squash, raw mango can be stored for longer period of time. Forced air cooling is receives cold air directly at high velocity. There is a high chance of desiccation of crops, under which cabbage, carrot, cauliflower, strawberries are stored. Hydrocooling is the cooled water is to be submerged or sprayed, and the heat exchanger is used to maintain water temperature. It helps in faster cooling and is mainly used for vegetables. Asparagus, beans, and cucumber, and pomegranate is also suitable for hydrocooling. And asparagus, broccoli, and green onions are suitable for ice cooling. Vacuum cooling crops that don't have thick wax cuticles are cooled by this method. The main disadvantage of this method is crop weight is reduced by 1% for every 5 or 6 reductions in temperature. So the high premium vegetables like Chinese cabbage, lettuce, leeks, they have very premium prices. They are used for this method because they are very perishable. And their market is so much high, if they enter in the market, they quickly vanish from there. And we have studied just now discussed the curing. These are the vegetables which go under curing. Potato under 13 to 17 degrees Celsius of high relative humidity of more than 85%. It has go for 7 to 15 days for curing. Same for sweet potato is like 5 to 7 days for curing. The temperature and relative humidity differs. And for yam, cassava, and garlic, onion, these are the vegetable produce which are good for curing, and curing is done for removal of field heat. Just now we have discussed the another process is that waxing. It is just esters of higher fatty acid with monohydric alcohols and hydrocarbons and some free fatty acids. Waxing generally reduces aspiration, transpiration, and other chemicals such as fungicides, growth regulators, and preservatives can also be incorporated. Are there kind of waxes are there, but the time is less, so that topic I have covered, and the topic will be diverted. In some other lecture I will be discussing of waxing application in detail. The commercial waxes are shellac, carnauba wax, bee wax, polyethylene, wood resins, paraffin wax. Shellac is like a varnish which can be painted on or applied on produce, which reduces the uh, respiration and transpiration losses. Carnauba wax is it's a Brazilian fan palm of which leaves are used to prepare wax, and they are also very good in retarding the respiration and transpiration losses. And the wood resins, paraffin wax and bee wax, you all know. Advantages of wax application: it reduces moisture losses, retards wilting and shriveling during storage. Weight loss can be prevented. Chilling injury and browning can be prevented. Protect produce from bruising. Carrier agent used as a carrier for sprout inhibitors, growth regulators, and preservatives. Cost-effective substitute in the reduction of spoilage when refrigerated storage is unaffordable. Protects fruits from microbiological infection. Respiration rate can be reduced by diffusion barrier between fruit and surrounding area, which reduces the availability of oxygen to the tissues. If these all things can be addressed, then automatically the shelf life of the fruit or particular produce is increasing. A mango, for example, last one is the mango fruits treated with a wax emulsion containing 8 to 12% solids have 1 or 2 weeks longer storage life than the untreated ones. And the storage we have discussed, the storage are different, but the most premium storage which are of prime importance is controlled atmospheric storage. The produce is kept at a reduced oxygen and high carbon dioxide concentration with an appropriate temperature range and relative humidity. The composition of carbon dioxide and oxygen levels in controlled atmospheric storage is kept within maintained and controlled levels in gas-tight containers or stores. The gas composition is thus monitored periodically, and fresh air or nitrogen is input to maintain predetermined level of headspace gas composition. Nitrogen is a neutral gas, and the most important part of spoiling the fruit is playing the role of oxygen. Oxygen plays the most important part for spoiling the produce, because actually the oxygen oxidizes. When the oxidation takes place, automatically the reduction, other part of the reaction is reduction. So we have to reduce the oxygen, and carbon dioxide concentration has to be maintained higher. Then only the respiration and transpiration losses will be at minimum. And the benefits of controlled atmospheric storage is it reduces the rate of respiration in ethylene production and hence retards senescence of fresh products. The responsive of fruits and towards the ethylene action is decreases. Several physiological disorders such as russet spotting in lettuce, chilling injury in variety of products, and some storage problems including is prevented. Losses of some other vitamins, especially those susceptible to oxidation, can be prevented. Fungal static effects can be prevented, and the incidence of various fungi and bacteria. Insect attacks can be controlled. It maintains the quantitative and qualitative aspects of the product for an extended period and hence helps improve their shelf life. There are some recommendation conditions for controlled atmospheric storage of some horticulture produce like apple, banana, cantaloupe, kiwi fruit, lettuce, nuts and dried fruits, strawberry. We can see their temperature and oxygen concentration as well as the carbon dioxide concentration for the respective produce. So these three components are maintained to flip their shelf life, maintain their quality and quantitative appearance, which enhances their market appearance and market longevity and fetches good price to the farmers. And from beginning we are discussing the post-harvest losses, but there are some post-harvest losses. Their causes also there which creates losses, but possible solutions can also be seen. Possible solutions are also there, but current status and implementation challenges are that we can see in harvesting stage. Common cause of losses are mechanical damage to the crop, such as scratches, punctures, and bruises, as well as weight loss and wilting due to heat. Possible solution: harvesting during the day's coolest period, early morning, to reduce weight loss and wilting. The produce should be kept in the field under covers. But current status is that yes, this practice is generally followed. At harvesting stage, these practices are followed. But at handling, mechanical injury paves the way for the pest attack and increases physiological losses. Possible solution: reduce the number of times the produce is handled. Yes, this solution is also followed. Sorting and cleaning. Low grade fruits do not bring market value. Possible solution: systematized sorting or grading combined with suitable packaging and storage. Ethylene treatment. Farmers do systematic sorting and grading before sending to the agents, but ethylene treatment is not followed. This is reality. Farmers do not have such kind of facilities that they will do at once at their field conditions. Packaging. Damage due to long distance travel, stacking, and improper air conditioning. A possible solution is store like tomatoes in sealed bags to create an environment with a high carbon dioxide and low oxygen content. Packaging should be preserve the firmness of the flesh, the concentration of soluble solids and low acidity and late fruit. Lycopene release, over packaging and crates can be, but this is not followed. This is not followed, and this is the challenge. This has to be addressed. Storage, reduce shelf life due to improper no storage. Using ethylene treatment to maintain a commodity at its ideal temperature, relative humidity, and environmental conditions. Evaporative cooling. These are very fancy words, and this has to be followed. But at field conditions, the farmers are not having such kind of techniques, and it is a challenge for them to address this. And transport, damaged rotten fruits due to watering, fresh produce, and rough loading and loading. Because the loading and loading is done by the laborers. Laborers are not so skilled or not so aware that how to carry that produce to from field to the vehicle or to that trailer, that the produce cannot be damaged. Just they do the work and complete, and then at the end of the day the produce is damaged. It has to be, it requires a awareness among the farmers also and the laborers also, so that the handling of the produce should be with proper. On conclusion, and the post-harvest horticulture operation, the main conclusion is the importance of proper post-harvest handling. So much importance that if the minimum handling will be there, the produce will be damaged minimum at very least, and reaching to the market, the quantity, quality, and longevity of the produce remain longer, which is good price, because the appearance and quality is maintained. At the end of the day in the market, the consumers and the customers will readily take that price at any price to have to the good quality produce. And if proper post harvest handling is done, definitely the nutrition, economic sustainability challenges can be addressed. It will be addressed very nicely, because we have to take care of the post harvest losses. If the post harvest losses, in which the handling of the produce, the carrying of the produce to the market, how it is shifting to the market, this is the main area. If we are able to address this, then definitely the nutrition loss will be less, sustainability will be there, farmers will be getting good and fetch good economic prices. Definitely the benefits are all there. First, we have to handle the post harvest losses very carefully, and we have to implement best practices for improved outcomes. And we all know the post harvest losses, though we are very good in large quantity in mango production, banana production, fruits and vegetables, we are second largest production. globally. But if we see the other side of the coin, then we have to think about that what we are doing, because the post harvest loss is still leading to 30%, 35%. Sometimes it touches to 40% also. Now we are increasing our production productivity. If we address post harvest losses, if it has to be handled very clinical and diligently, then automatically our production and productivity will go double, because the losses we are making, it will be minimized. And that losses will be minimized, then the farmers, those who are not getting price, they will be getting good price, even double their cost of cultivation also in return. So questions and discussions. Now anyone can have their doubts regarding this, they can ask. Thank you.